Hi. Hi, Norman. Can we talk afterwards? I wanted, because it's coming.
Oh, sole mio. Hello. How you doing, all right? Yo! All right, let's go, Chicago. Soldiers Field. Okay. Calm down now, calm down, please. Yeah.
We had heard that yes, what we do would be a signal to start this one language for the U.S.
We did it in Japan. We did like a version of it in Japan, and we dropped it. Didn't like it that much. It was okay, you know, but we just weren't that wild on it, so we put birthday in instead, and we liked that better. Hi. Huh. Am I what? Well, I don't know, you know. We started off the tour thinking it'd be a good idea to support people like Friends of the Earth. And as you know, we've supported them basically through the whole tour. And it's been really good, you know, because all we were doing was bringing publicity to the issues. You know, I'm not an expert. And apparently Friends of the Earth have got like a lot of new members. And the kind of things I notice are when I see a kid who says, I just did a class lecture to all my school friends about Friends of the Earth, about ecology, and we used your program to get all the facts, you know. So it's having some effect. It's great. And then later on there's the people for the ethical treatment of animals, PETA. I just believe in all that stuff, you know, so I'm happy to give them publicity. Yep. Yeah, it kind of, you know, I'm thinking along those lines, but it's not always easy to just come up with something because you want to write it. You know, sometimes songs write themselves. So I'll have to see, you know, if it works out. I'd like to.
What feelings do you have on the state of top 40 radio in this country right now?
I haven't heard a lot of it, to tell you the truth, while I've been on the tour. I've been kind of playing tapes and stuff. I haven't really heard a lot, but I don't know. You tell me. Is it any good?
I don't know. I'm just wondering what your place is in, with all the dance music.
Oh, you know, I don't mind. I always like a good selection of stuff. So rap isn't my field, you know, but I like it. I like to watch it on TV and stuff and listen to it. I like a lot of modern music. You know, I think it's good. I like dance music. It's not particularly what I do, you know. And I think that kind of, in radio over here, puts me in like sort of adult contemporary.
Well, are you going to tour again?
Yeah, quite possibly. I think, you know, because this has been a big sort of tour on the heels of the Stones and stuff, people tend to think, oh, this is bound to be his last tour, you know. And at my great venerable age would suggest this kind of thing. But I've actually had a great time on this tour, and the band's got better and better. So we're putting a live album out from this tour, and we got a film, and then we'll make a new studio album. And I would like to think that after that, we'll come back on tour. I don't know really. The promoter, you know, somebody said, "Will you come back to Chicago?" We had a few options of where to finish the tour, and this was the most exciting. I always like Chicago. It's one of my cities, you know. I like, you know. Hey man, I'm telling you. Yeah, hang on. I think so. I think so, yeah. Yeah, hang on. Let's see the question, yeah? Yeah, when I wrote Fool on the Hill, the idea for me was always just someone who's got the right answer, but people tend to ridicule him. You know, whether he's a little guy sitting in a cave or on the top of a hill, or whether he's an activist. And so I was looking for a speech from somebody like that, and I think probably the greatest recorded speech in that vein is the Martin Luther King speech, so moving and so dramatic. And we found that it fitted exactly in the piece of music that we had, a little solo in Fool on the Hill. So it was great. It's quite a stirring thing to put in. That's very nice. Thank you for thanking me. That's great, especially from the youngsters here. Shut up, I'm talking to her. See, these older people, they just don't understand. Right, do you mind? Anyway, what was the end bit of the question? What was the actual question? What can you do to help? I think, you know, if you think about joining things like Friends of the Earth or Greenpeace or PETA, any of these organizations, they're very good at telling you what you can do. You know, you'll hear people talking about recycling and all that sort of stuff. Well, that's all brilliant. It's all very good. And I think, you know, just believe. That's the main thing. Believe the world needs saving, and you'll save it.
Well, not for rock and roll. What would a 48-year-old Liverpool citizen be doing on July 29th? Not for rock and roll.
Well, I don't know. We were lucky. We got into rock and roll, and the great thing that happened with us was national service, which was going into the army in England, stopped. So we were able to have the Beatles and have our success. I think we wouldn't have had that had it not been for that. If I hadn't have gone into rock and roll, I think the nearest thing I could ever think to do was like to be a teacher, because that was kind of where I was heading. I don't think I would have been a very good one. So, you know, thank God for rock and roll. Yeah. I'm not sure exactly when, but it's this autumn. It's towards the end of the year. Her Linda McCartney's home cooking cookbook is coming out. Do what? Do you think I've become a folk singer? Well, I don't, but you might. You know, I don't think I'm getting into folk really. But you know, I'm not really bothered what it's labeled. You know, some of the stuff I do, people can dance to, but you wouldn't call it dance music. You know, some of it may be a bit folksy. I mean, the most folksy thing we ever did was a Scottish thing called Mull of Kintyre, which is, hey, you're not supposed to know about that. It was only a hit in England. Well, anyway, but that was good fun, you know, but I don't particularly think I'm going in any one direction, you know, I just go in whatever direction seems good at the time, it interests me, you know.
Well, I answered the fact that they would ask you one question, what would it be? And three of them said, are you happy?
That's it, yeah, it's a good question. I am actually, yeah. It was a funny question, because at the end of the Beatles, I used to really dread that question. Because, you know, they'd say to me, are you happy? And I'd sort of say, yes, and break down, you know, because, like, it wasn't much fun, you know. It was very difficult to know what you were going to do in life. But, you know, because it's a hard act to follow, the Beatles. But I've done pretty well since that, you know, and with this kind of a tour and stuff, yeah, I'm really happy. I got a great family, a great band, and we seem to be selling some tickets along the line. What do I like to do? Sit around and talk to people of the press. And this is one of my favorite things.
What do you think your role is next phase of your career? What do you think should be a rock?
I don't know, really. I don't really think about, you know, roles and stuff. I just would like to continue making music. I want to get better. That's always my goal. So hopefully, you know, if the next album's better than the last one, that's really all that interests me, you know. I don't really think of myself as any kind of role model or anything, you know. It's just not the way I think.
Well, do you see yourself making musical political statements anymore for Friends of the Earth or Northern Ireland or anything you've done in the past?
Well, I never really mean to be kind of political, you know. My main thing is just to be a musician, but in 1989, when we started this tour, this big hole appeared over the Antarctic, you know, 50-mile hole. And I think, like the young lady who asked the question before, it worries people, you know. I normally at these conferences, I'll ask anyone who's not worried about the future of the Earth and the ecology to put their hands up, please, you know. And Go ahead then, smartass. What are you going to say? No, he's just joking. But, you know, normally, you know, obviously most people you'll meet are worried about it. And really all I'm doing is giving publicity to that cause. And I think it's a very good cause. And I also feel very optimistic about it, that with the help of these young people, we're going to turn it round.
Well, we've never been a chance to party without